Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I think Rosa's saying she doesn't know what's happening with her mic. Okay, and that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's totally fine. Uh, at least on the webinars that I do, sometimes I welcome people with their microphone and their camera off, because the information that we're going to provide is still going to be super beneficial to hear. So if you're having any trouble like hearing us, then please let us know. And then if there's a question or something, please jump in. But yeah.
and you're also welcome to speak. We're gonna, because it's a small group that's live, we are welcoming you guys to kind of join in if you feel like you'd like to do that.
Yeah, and small group. I love
Awesome.
this
Thank
too.
you.
Yes, you're welcome. I'm saying I love the smaller groups because it's easier to connect and it's easier to, have a conversation sometimes about the topics that we're here for. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Marty Ortiz. I am a confidence coach. My company is Vision Track. And what I do is I coach either through one-on-one coaching or group coaching programs. I do a lot of confidence coaching with young women. And the ages that I've been concentrating on are between 18 and 24. 27 has been the oldest young lady that I've been able to help. And I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I do have a YouTube channel, and I currently have an online course that just got launched, and we'll share all that information with the participants that are here. So Shannon, if you want to go ahead and do an introduction, and then we can get started.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Shannon Murphy, and I am a transformational coach. So I help women heal their relationship with money, very specifically, self. It says asking what the meeting ID is. It should be in the link. Let's see.
Okay, yeah, she got kicked out earlier, so.
I don't know where the meeting ID is actually. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Rosa.
Oh, thank you, Rosa.
Okay, so I work with, oh, here she is. Let's see, hopefully that worked.
Great.
There she is.
There you are, Maritza.
She can't hear us yet. Okay, there you are, Maritza. Can you hear us?
And you can type it in if you'd like, or yes.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. So we're just getting started. You haven't missed too much. I was introducing myself. I'm Shannon. This is Marty. And I'm a transformational coach. I help women heal their relationship with money. I do a lot of work around money and heal their relationship with themselves. And then from there, powerfully align with your soul's purpose. So how do I do that? I use a combination of tools. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. So we use hypnosis, guided meditations, tapping, which you may have heard of it, called EFT. I do past life regressions, crystals, tuning forks. I also have a digital course called Conscious Money that really helps you start to become aware of your money beliefs, which most of us are really unaware of. So a big part of the work that I do with women is around uncovering and clearing limiting beliefs. And we generally will start with money. And the reason being, why do we do that? Because the blocks that you have in your money are showing up everywhere in your life. So they're showing up as blocks in your romantic relationships, in your family relationships, in your friendships, in your health, in your career. And just as an example, a lot of women have trouble receiving money, if we're talking specifically about money. But that shows up in every aspect. How many women do you know that give, and don't ever get anything for themselves and don't know how to ask for what they need? So we're able to see this really clearly in money, our money beliefs. And once we start to clear the box in your money, first of all, you start to bring in more money, you start to manifest more, but the blocks start to clear in all those other areas of your life as well. So I really love working with money for that reason.
Yeah, and I actually love working with Shannon. I love these collabs that we do because the young women that I work with, I love teaching them or having Shannon talk to them too about how to change that mindset around money at a young age, right? So that those money blocks don't follow us all the way into our 40s, like me. And so that handling that at an early age, and just being conscious of what's there and what's keeping you from either making or receiving money is so important. So I love working with Shannon, and I'm so glad that you're here and that we're here. So thank you, ladies, for attending. So
and just to add to that really quick, Marty,
Yeah.
that you make a good point. So it's never too late to start, though, at whatever age
Right.
you're at. And I'll tell you a story later, but I have some clients in their 70s that are doing this work, and we can always make the quality of life better starting now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for saying that. So we're here because we are talking about recession fears. That is something that I've heard so often in the coaching that I've been doing, something that we hear all over the news, right? The news, social media. I mean, even from our friends and family, people at work. So it's very like in front of us, like, bam, here you go, we're in a recession, or we're coming up on a recession. And so it's affecting the way we feel about our money, and maybe even our ability to make more money, or whatever that fear might be. So it is a legit fear, though. I have to say that if it's something you're fearing, it is super legit, because why wouldn't it be, right? If we're in a negative economic growth, which that's basically what a recession is, yes, that's scary. It would scare me if I'm constantly thinking about that, and the gloom and doom that we are presented with when it comes to recession fears. So what we are going to talk about, that some of the things that I hear from the clients that I've been working with, and ladies, please, you ladies can jump in the chat or whatever you'd like, but some of the fears that are very specific, and I took note of them because I didn't want to miss any. And if you're the same, just, raise your hand or you can agree. But some of the examples that are very specific, the first one is, I will lose my job, right? This recession, with all the inflation, with everything that's going on, and I hear, I'm afraid to lose my job, okay? Or I won't have anywhere to live. And then something related to that is, I'll have to move in with my parents, right? These girls are young that I'm usually working with. And so that's a huge thing for them. Like, I'm not going to have anywhere to live. I might, lose my apartment, and then I'm going to have to go live with my parents. And the other one is, I'll deplete my savings, or I'll run out of whatever savings I might have. Or I won't be able to make any money, period. I won't have a job. I won't have any way to make any money. Or the other things too that come up, not so much, but I feel like a lot of us would think about this, like, I'm not going to be able to splurge, right? I may not be able to go splurge on getting my nails done, every couple of weeks, or get my hair or my pedicure, or my coffee every morning, right? Yeah, see, Maritza's saying,
that
yeah.
resonates.
Yeah, so definitely those are legit fears, but it doesn't have to be that way, right? It does not have to be that way. And the other day I saw a meme, and I didn't have time to pull it up, or even, I just remember what someone said. They said, the recession will go away as soon as you stop watching the news, because it's, they want to scare you. They want to put it out there. They want to cause, some kind of chaos for us. So that's huge. What we're listening to, what we're taking in, that really affects that money mindset. And I know, Shannon, you have a lot to say about that, because we want to be able to invite something else in rather than the fear, something that's not fear-based.
Right. And some of the things that I hear too, I hear all of that stuff. And then in addition, it's the idea of, I'm going to be living paycheck to paycheck, right? I'm going to really tighten the bootstraps. And the other thing is that there are just no jobs out there. I hear that a lot. Not necessarily from the people that I coach, but just kind of out in the world. So it's important to be aware of what these fear-based thoughts are. And so if you've ever done law of attraction work, that can actually be a very difficult thing. A lot of my clients do have trouble initially connecting with, and I'm going to do the air quotes, because the negative thoughts, because they think that if I say this out loud, or if I think this, I'm going to attract this. But the truth of the matter is, anything that we don't acknowledge is really more powerful. So when you just try to stay positive, you're ignoring what's happening underneath the surface. So it's important to acknowledge what these fears are. And if you guys have any additional thoughts that pop into your mind when you think about a recession, let us know either in the chat, or you can turn on your mic and let us know, because I think those are just the common ones that we've been hearing.
Yeah. And I'll just add to that a little bit, Shannon. So I think for me, I love talking about the money blocks, right? Mm-hmm. The money blocks, because we're letting in, like I said, all of this negative information about the recession and inflation and, oh my gosh, gloom and doom. But because we also have those blocks that we grow up with, that you work with so much, I feel like that also adds to it. And so getting rid of those limiting beliefs from childhood, I think, is really going to make a difference in how you view the information that's out there, right? You're not going to let it get to where you're going to fear that, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house or whatever it may be. So for me, growing up in a traditional Hispanic, low income immigrant family, that was huge for me. These blocks that I didn't know I was accepting, right? Because for absolutely everything, I grew up with, wanting a lot. And so it was always, oh, can we have that? No, there's no money for that. No, we can't afford it. Oh, that's for the rich people. You need to wait until you make your own money so you can, see what it's like, and then see what you're going to buy. Those kinds of thoughts that you carry with you. And then you, like you said, you don't know that they're affecting you. So I love talking about that topic. If you want to expand on that for us a little bit. And I know that it helps me so much just to be conscious about that and not let it affect you.
Yeah, I agree. I grew up in a different environment. I actually grew up in a middle class, suburb in the Midwest. But it was funny because I actually was having a conversation with another coach today that's grew up in Wisconsin, where I grew up. And I think it's kind of cultural. So even though I grew up in a middle class family, we were made to think we were poor. And, that was my parents who had grown up poor. And it was like, oh, we can't afford that. We can't afford that. We don't have enough money. It was easy for everybody else, not easy for us. And so, yes, I have done a lot of work around this. I've expanded a lot. I've been able to call in more money, but I still find myself coming up against blocks. So I love to keep doing the work, to keep peeling the layers. So in the work that I do, I really break it down even a little bit more than what you just explained, Marty. And so when we think about money, and we'll be talking about money in general, but we'll talk about it specifically here in the context of recession. So there are a couple different things that are going on that I separate. So as soon as you think about a recession, what happens? Okay. You start having thoughts going through your head. And those are the things that you mentioned, Marty. Things like, I'll lose my job. I'll have to move back in with my parents. I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to not be able to splurge. I'm not going to pay my bills. Those are thoughts, right? But then there's another layer that are feelings. And this is the part that people often have been very unaware of. So what happens when you think about recession? What are you feeling? Fear, sadness, anger, resentment. There are a whole lot of different things that can be going on, but we separate the thoughts and the feelings. There's a third category that applies to some people, but not everybody. And they're called connected traumas. So in money in general, and then again in the context of a recession, you may have had an experience in your past that perhaps your family went through recession. Maybe, one of your parents lost their job and it really affected the family income. Maybe you lost a family home, something like that. And this can also, that of course, apply to things like your savings or, how much debt you carry, things like that. So if you have some sort of traumatic experience, sometimes a parent dies. And of course, that really affects the family's finances. So all of that stuff is running under the surface. So what happens is all of these thoughts, feelings, experiences actually get mapped out in our nervous system. This is just the craziest thing. I never knew this before. It actually gets mapped out in the nervous system. So I want you to think about is if you are a computer and you have whatever's up on your screen, what you can see right now, but in the background of your computer, you have the software that's running and you're unaware of it. And that is what is happening under the surface right now when you, whether you're consciously thinking about it or not, with your money, with your savings, with your debt, when you think about a recession. So every time you start to think about a recession, you automatically start to think these thoughts. I'll run out of money. I won't have anywhere to live. It's automatic. It's just an unconscious process. You automatically go into that state of fear, that state of resentment, anger, whatever it is that you're feeling. And it runs like that program. It's like the malware that's running in the background. And so that's what we want to start to clear. And awareness is a big part of it, but you can be the most aware person in the world. And if you don't have the tools to clear this stuff, it's just going to keep running, which is why so many people very smart might have difficulties with money, might have difficulties with having the same type of toxic romantic relationship over and over, because the program is running in the background unbeknownst to them. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I think it makes
it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's basically like our programming is what you're saying. It's all in our programming.
Right. And so think about your computer system. Every once in a while, you have to update your operating system. Maybe you get a new computer when the old one gets too slow. It's gunked up, and we haven't been taught how to clear that stuff out for ourselves. Hi there, Lana.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you in your car?
Yeah, I'm loving all of this. I just went on a jog, so, but I'm listening.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marty, if you'd like to continue.
Yeah, so what I wanted to add to that, and Shannon is going to have this awesome example that I love hearing about the history of recessions, right? How history has shown that recessions can be a good thing. So if you just simply start with that, if you haven't cleared the blocks and you haven't, cleared out whatever bad programming you have, one of the best ways is to think of a recession. Just start thinking of it as it has a history of being a good thing for a lot of people, not just rich people. And that's another problem with the way that we think, oh yeah, it's good for rich people. No, it's not just them. It's people that put in the work first. And then it's people that know how to, or what to get into, you know what I mean? So when there's a recession, yes, you might lose your job, but then what do you have to do? You have to go out and you have to look for a new one, probably a better one, right? Because sometimes you have to look at that like, okay, that company probably wasn't that well off. They probably didn't have the wealth, they didn't have the structure to keep me. So what makes me think that would have been like a long-term benefit for me? So those are the little things that make a difference in the way that you view that too. So yes, it might push people. It's just, the truth. And yes, you might lose your job, but what is losing your job going to allow you to do? And that's, again, the mindset of, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get something better out of this. So you might get a different job, you might get a different experience, you might have to move somewhere, and then new opportunities will come from that. So there's so much history, and I won't spend too much time on that, but if you Google it, you're going to find it. You're going to find recessions can be an opportunity for you. It can be a good thing, but it's all up here. And that's why we have Shannon to help us with that. But if you can share the example of your client, even in the midst of a pandemic was hard on people, but it also gave people so much opportunity because they knew, and we knew how to grab it, how to move forward with it and work with it. So that's where a lot of that difference comes in. What are you going to do with that? Because you're thinking of it in a way that's going to benefit you rather than, have a negative effect.
And I also want to add, because I am not an employee, I am an entrepreneur. So we're living in a time right now where we have opportunities available to us to create something that's never been created. And So as scary as this stuff can be, I think this is what we want to focus our energy on, or at least acknowledge it in the moments when we do go into that fear-based thinking, because as long as you have an internet connection these days, I mean, if it's a service-based business, think about this, you can do it from anywhere in the world. And I'll be honest, that's one of my dreams, to really get this business moving where I can go for, like, since I was like 21, I've wanted to say, I'm going to Spain for a year, and then I'm going to go live in Portugal for a year. I'm going to go to Amsterdam for a year. I love languages. I love culture. And that is what I'm working towards right now. So I'm still figuring it out because it's new, you know, the opportunities we have with the internet are just insane. So I wanted to share what Marty was talking about, this client that I have. And so we're going to talk about the pandemic, because the pandemic was probably the worst, like, just full stop that we've ever seen. And people lost their jobs. We had no idea when things were opening up, what might be coming back. Jobs disappeared. People that had been employees that felt they were very secure, everything shut down. I didn't work for the first 4 months of the pandemic. The work that I do, I wasn't online yet. So I was able to shift. I had been saying for a long time, oh, I want to start doing online sessions. And like Marty said, when everything shut down, the universe was like, okay, this is the time. You didn't do it, so you're doing it now. And I love it because now I get to meet people from all over the world. I can be in different places when I'm doing this work. So I have this client that when the recession, when the pandemic, the initial lockdown started, she's in her 70s. She was about 70, okay? And she had been an employee for many years in a courthouse. And she always lived paycheck to paycheck. She always was unaware of what kind of money she had. She had a huge amount of debt. She just panicked. And we started working one-on-one together. And in the first couple sessions, we mapped out her savings, her debt, her income goals. And there's another category called toxic money that some people have. And she kept telling me that she wanted to shut it down. She was ready to just flee. She was a person that never opened her bills. She never opened her envelope. She had no idea how much money she owed. She owed at least $20,000 in credit card debt. It was $17,000. She owed the IRS about $20,000, which she had had for probably 2 decades. She couldn't remember a time when she had not had debt. And we started doing the work together. It was very scary for her, but she did it, you know, and, you know, she was supported and she just kept taking the baby steps through. So what happened was she did have an Airbnb in her house that it also got shut down at the start of lockdown. But we started kind of mapping out money and what we would do and how she could do these different things. When it became safe, she opened up the Airbnb, but she had not been running it like a business. She had no idea how much money she was bringing in overall. She had no idea how much her expenses were. So we started tracking it. And we looked at the debts that she owed, how much, and started bit by bit. A little bit of money would come in with Airbnb. Rather than waiting to pay the minimum payment, she would pay today, and then next week when she got a little more money, she'd throw another $30 at it. Well, it started to really snowball. And at the same time, she was a notary, and one thing she had been wanting to do for a long time was become a signing agent as a notary. So she took the class. She had the time. She took the class. She got certified, or whatever it's called, and she started putting herself out there, connecting with mortgage agents, and she started getting loan signing documents as a notary, which is a whole different ballgame. So over the course of 9 months, the other thing she actually got to, and she did start collecting Social Security. And so while these specifics might not apply to everybody, I just want you to be aware of that money starts coming in when you start to clear these. So without her having her job, between the money she was bringing in, between the Airbnb, the Social Security, and the signing, she was actually bringing in like $8,000 a month, and she had no idea. Over the course of 9 months, she paid off $17,000 in credit card debt, and she didn't have her day job. And she paid down half of the IRS debt. And I think it's paid off now. I have to check in with her to see specifically. But over the course of 9 months without having a job, she paid off all of that debt. She started putting money in her savings account. Within a couple of weeks, she said, I have $1,000 in my account without even noticing. She didn't feel that she was saving every penny and not being able to enjoy life, because she was getting her nails done. She was doing certain things, but she was also prioritizing. And this was in a time in history that we never experienced before. You know, it was very scary for everybody. And she said, I have these notes from one of our sessions. She said, I started 2 businesses and they're producing and supporting me. And more importantly, I'm not worried about money like I used to be. She used to be terrified to open the mail. She wouldn't open it. And she decided to work 3 days a week. And she said, this is my vision because this is my goal at this stage in life. So that's a huge win. This woman made a huge shift, and she took advantage of opportunity that she created just by doing the work. So that's one of my favorite, that's one of the biggest stories that I have of success with people that I've worked with.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. I love hearing that. And I feel like the vision part is so important. I do a lot of that work too with my clients and the young women, because as a young woman, I don't remember ever thinking about, what do you want for the future? Or, what do you want your life to look like? Nobody talked to me about that. Again, traditional Hispanic, low income, family, we don't talk about those things. There's like no space for those kinds of things. And I feel like the vision of, what you can do with something or what you want to do really opens up that road, and you start making those shifts. So with that, I know that you, Shannon, have an exercise that I'm really excited to do, because it has to do with, what can you do? This is all about what can, and positive, and, what we can do with what we have. So.
Okay. And so before we talk about that, before we do that, I want to kind of shift just a little bit as a transition. So the idea is, we talk about what comes up when you think about recession, what comes up when you think about money, these fear-based thoughts. So the idea is, I want you guys to ask yourself this question: what do I want to invite into my life? Okay. And just by starting to ask that question and allow that to come in, you start to shift your perspective. You start to shift your energy. You start to shift your vibration, where you're open to receiving. And when I ask, and you ask yourself, what do you want to invite into your life? Keep in mind that those can be material things. Maybe it's a new car, maybe it's a beautiful home, maybe it's nice clothes. It can also be these feelings. I want to feel peace. I want to feel harmony. I want to feel balance, right? So it's a really important question. And in my sessions, I use oracle cards. So I always pick cards, and I picked a card right before this session. And at first, it kind of puzzled me a little bit, but when I looked at it, this is really, so I want to share this with you guys. The card is impasse. And when I heard impasse, impasse sort of has this idea of being stuck. But what it says is reflect and redirect your energy. And that's exactly the idea. We're just going to shift. We're going to redirect the energy from the fear into what do I want? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something here in the chat. Give me 1 second. And you guys can print this up now or later, but we're going to do this exercise.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I just have a quick question. So hearing Shannon explain that, like, what do we want to invite into our life? If you want to put it in the chat, or if you want to get off mute and just say it, and I'll go first, if that's okay. So the first thing for me that I thought when you asked that was, I want peace of mind. That's huge for me. Like, I don't like to be worried. I don't like to be overwhelmed. So peace of mind is something I want more of. So if any of you ladies want to chime in with, something that maybe came to your mind as soon as you heard that question, please feel free to.
I would say,
share.
For me, I would say more abundance, not having to budget so much, not having to think and say like, oh, I can't make it to this festival because it's $300, and like lose out on experiences. So yeah, I'm not so much like recession fear based. It's more so, it's so interesting that you talk about like how we grow up and how that shapes our mindset. Like my parents have always been hard workers, but like as seeing my dad as like a business owner, he's gone through so much. And yeah, maybe those beliefs carried over, but yeah, I definitely feel like reshifting our focus does so much for us.
Yeah. And you make a good point. I'm glad you said that, because unrelated to recession, that's one of the things that people say all the time. We have to work hard for our money. Money doesn't grow on trees. What's the other thing that we always hear? It's easy for them, not for us. So those are money related, and they're going to transfer to whatever you're talking about, whether that be a recession, whether that be your savings account, whether that be your romantic partnership. It's all related. So that's very, very common in families. And we don't think about it because from the age 0 to 7, you're essentially in a hypnotic trance. So you just believe basically whatever it is caregivers in your world are telling you. You don't even think to question it. And so that becomes implanted at a very young age. And beyond that, most of us never stop to think about it because it's just part of like the fabric of who we are. So that's why I love these interactive where we all can talk about it, because these beliefs are so common. It's just such a part of society. I have to work hard. Some people will self-sabotage making more money because it would mean that they would have to work too hard. They would never see their families, things like that. And it's all very unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maritza or Rosa, do you guys want to share anything about maybe what you'd like to invite in? Let's see, I want to invite.
And Lana, thank you for sharing. That was a really good one. Yeah.
And then Rosa says, I want to
Oh
invite
yeah,
new.
of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to invite new exciting opportunities into my life: jobs, relationship experiences, creative opportunities. Rosa, you want it all. So we just want an abundance of everything. So yes. For you.
I'm with Rosa. That's right, girl. Girl power. And one thing I also want to point out real quick about the word abundance. I'm going to invite you to get even clearer on what that means, because abundance is actually a very vague word. What does that mean? If you want money, you say, I want money. If you want a specific experience, if you want to travel, I want travel. And that can be hard for women to do. We're not supposed to want anything.
So you're saying if I say abundance, I want an abundance of peace of mind. Is that what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So like Maritza, she's saying I invite stability and discipline to maintain financial independence. Yes. So I want an abundance of stability and discipline. Is that what you're?
No, I'm just saying that the word abundance you've said it a couple of times. So rather than saying I want abundance, well, what does that mean specifically to you? I want money. I want peace. I want, and it might be all of the above, but I just invite you to get more specific about what abundance means to you.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah, that's great.
The more specific we can be, the easier it is for the universe to bring us that.
I agree.
Yeah, there are lots of stories about things that people invite in, and it comes in a very negative way because they were very vague about what they were asking the universe for. There was a story I read years ago about a father and a daughter that were in a car accident. He lost his arm, and it was something that he used to say over and over and over, is I'd give my left arm for her.
Oh.
So
wow.
Yes, I know. So that one stuck with me. That was in a book I read years ago. So the idea is get specific. Financial independence. Yeah, that's specific, stability, money, relationships, I think opportunities. So yes, thank you guys so much for sharing. And we're going to do, we're not going to finish this today, but this is a really fun exercise. So I know, Lana, you're driving, you might not be able to write, but if you guys have something to write, I'm going to explain this to you. We're going to do a little meditation to kind of get into the flow, and then I'm going to invite you to do some writing. So this exercise we're going to do is called 50 Ways to Make Money Now, okay? And it starts out, you want more money, time, freedom, experiences, more passion, and more energy. So you've all already said that you want those things. So you can read through this. I'm not going to read the whole paragraphs to you, but basically the idea is, when there is an opportunity, are you able to take advantage of it? Are you taking advantage of it? And so what we're going to do here, this is the question you're going to be asking. You can close your eyes right now and just take in. The question you're going to be asking is, if I needed money right now, if my life depended on it, how can I get it? And the idea is you're going to have to write down 50 ways, which we're not going to do all of those right now. That's going to be some of your homework, but keep going until you hit 50, because this is where the magic really happens. So thinking about things that you could do, offer, sell, you know, it doesn't matter if you have a business. So that's what we're going to be doing. So first, we're just going to do a little meditation so you guys can get into the flow. So go ahead and just close your eyes, take a deep breath in and exhale. And taking another deep breath in and exhaling. One more deep breath in and letting your breath out as you feel yourself on the chair, the couch, whatever you're resting on, feeling your body, your back being supported, knowing that you're being supported and protected, that everything is happening for your greatest and highest good. And imagine your energy being cleared. So imagine any energy that is unwanted for any reason. Imagine it like water dripping down out of the body, running out of the bottoms of your feet, down into the earth as you settle and sink down. As you relax, very comfortably allowing your mind to open as you surround yourself in a beautiful light, and you can pick the color. This is a light of love, a light of protection. And imagine the top of your head beginning to gently open, seeing or feeling above you an entire galaxy of stars and planets and moons and galaxies. Imagining a funnel going into the top of your head and allowing the sun and the moon and the stars to move down through the funnel, feeling your mind expanding as you begin to imagine money flowing into your life, as you begin to imagine ways that money can come to you, things you may have been unaware of up until now, feeling very relaxed and peaceful and calm and balanced. You can open your eyes, and I want you to start writing a list of ways to make money now. And I want this just to be like a free write. So don't edit, don't think, oh, that wouldn't work, oh, I'd have to do this or that. If it pops into your mind, just write it down. And I'm just going to set the time, I'll give you a few minutes, and then we can share questions, comments. Remember, just write down whatever pops into your mind. Make sure you're writing down whatever your actual job is.
Did you say write down what our actual job is?
Because people forget to write that down. However you currently
okay.
make money, don't forget to write it down. Yeah, somehow that seems to
I see what
go
you're
beyond.
saying. Yeah. Gosh, 50, Shannon? I have, oh my God, 10.
We're not going to get through it all right now. We'll give you another minute or two, but yeah. So you're going to hit a point where you start to get stuck, and then when you continue, it starts to flow.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm.
Take about 1 more minute. So get down as much as you can.
You're really making us think.
This is how we start to expand. Yes. You have 50, Marty?
No, I'm gonna need a little help.
Okay, so just write down whatever you have and we'll just kind of come back. But I am going to give you homework. I want you guys to really do the 50 because there's something magical. And what I was telling, let's see, somebody wrote
Maritza has
11.
11.
Okay, that's okay.
Good. I feel like
This is
right
what I'm
there.
going to recommend. And I actually did
Wonderful.
mine. Okay, I'm going to just show you. Okay, I actually ended up having a lot more than 50, believe it or not. But
Oh.
I did this and it did take like an hour or so. I did this with a friend. So I'm going to recommend that you guys print up the sheet that's in the downloaded and then print it up. My girlfriend and I got together. We had a glass of wine. If you don't drink wine, get your cup of tea, whatever it is that you like, and sit down. And at first, you kind of get stuck. Yeah, you're at 11. That's probably about a common number. And then you start to think of the silly ideas. And we started telling each other ideas. And by the end, we were writing crazy things in. Okay. The other thing, well, I'd love to hear if anybody would like to share any of the ideas that they wrote. And then I'll give you a little more information about how to use this list also. Marty, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, real quick. I put that I would like dog sit or dog walk. I'm a dog lover. So
yeah,
I feel like that one was too easy.
Well, that's it exactly. Why can't it be easy? Why can't it be easy? Why does it have to be hard? That's clearly one of your money beliefs. I have to work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes perfect sense. So I was like, well, I guess I could, but that'd be too easy.
I even wrote things down like babysitting, which I don't want to do, but it is a way I could make money. So that's when I say don't edit. Would anybody else care to share anything that they wrote down, anything that popped up? Maybe there was something surprising, or maybe you stayed really close to what it is that you know.
Yeah, I actually had an idea of, well, I put a few down, but one of them was buying stuff from like this thrift store that I found where literally shirts were like $2, $3 and like just super clothes and like taking it to Buffalo Exchange and like getting credit there or getting cash. Because they do tend to like overprice their stuff at Buffalo Exchange. So yeah, that was an idea. I also thought about, and my friend has sent me videos because we've been like sending each other ideas of how to make money too, of how some people literally go to Ross and they buy a bunch of stuff and they post it on like an Amazon seller account. And then from there, yeah, they ship it, I guess, directly to Amazon and you make a profit. So I wrote those down. I wrote quite a few others down, but yeah, it's such an interesting practice to do. How exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to see the ideas that come up. And if you keep going to 50, I promise you, they're gonna just get bigger. Yeah.
Nice.
I think I want to do what you were saying. Take this up with a friend and see what crazy what crazy things come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
It's
be
pretty-
a good like a
It's fun to
girls
do with a friend. Yeah.
like a girls'
Yeah.
night out, you know, and
Mhm.
here, what would you do for money?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
and
three all know each other?
Yeah, well, Rosa told me about you and how awesome you are, Shannon. And then, yeah, I figured I would join. And then I told Maritza about it. And yeah, we were just chatting on the phone earlier. She's like, sure, why not?
wow, that's
You guys might have
great.
to have a girls' wine night.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Maritza, for me, I noticed I stuck to what I knew, such as host online or in-person workshops, collaborate with other creators, get back into giving readings and energy healing sessions, host all women's circles, etc. Good. But what I want you to do, Maritza, is I want you to make sure you're putting each of those on a separate line, because those are actually all separate ways to make money. So online sessions are one, in-person sessions, collaborating, yeah. Energy healing, those are all different ways. So actually it's not so difficult. You've already got like about 10, I don't know if that adds to your list of 11, but that's about 10
Oh
right
wow, look at you, Rosa.
there. Ooh,
That's a good
Recession
list.
Fears job, selling lessons on teachers pay teachers, opening an Etsy shop with Cricut, pet sitting, pet walking, pet
Yeah,
picking.
ooh, I'm on
So
that one.
make sure that you separate 4 out. Again, those are all separate: pet sitting, pet walking, pet Reiki, pet photography. Remember, you've got 4 all
Selling
in one
feet
right there.
pictures.
What is that? I haven't gotten.
I'm gonna join her on that.
Selling feet pictures.
That's a
Oh
thing.
my
That's a
gosh.
thing, ladies.
Finding a sugar daddy that doesn't want sugar. So you see how fun these get already. Have you been drinking wine, Rosa?
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. So you have your list of 15, but really that you've got about 20 right there. I love it. So yes, I really would love for you guys to go and finish your list of 50. And then this is the one thing I would have you do after it. You're going to get a lot of stuff in there that's like, I don't want to do this. That's not going to pay enough, and that's okay. But you're going to find at least one thing in there that you can implement right now to make more money. And what I did was I went through on my list and I highlighted some that seemed to me like I could do them. And I have made money from some of these. So like one thing that I wanted to do, and this is actually how I met Rosa, I wanted to start doing Airbnb experiences online. And I did. And that does bring in regular income for me. That's actually where I met Rosa. And I've done some of the other things that are on my list that have brought me money. So this is actually, it can be really fun, but it's actually also a practical exercise that you can use. I did this probably close to a year ago, and I have my little copy that's all, torn up and everything because I've been carrying it around with me, and I've been looking periodically to see what's on there. Is there anything else I could do right now that rings a bell? And then after you do, I'd love, to hear from you. Get in touch and let me know anything, that stands out to you, anything that you think. I'd love to hear. I have these 3 things that I think right now I could implement to make me money. See where it goes. I'd love to hear back.
Yeah, great. And can I just add real quick? I love this because the whole thing, whether it's 50 or 100, or I mean, even, like me, the 11 or 12 that I had, your brain is thinking money, making money. It's like the positive, you're making, and hopefully not letting in, something else in there. So just that goes back, I think, to everything you said about the mindset, right? You're thinking making money. and then all of that starts
Yes.
coming in. So
Yes.
I think it's a
Yes.
great exercise, and I
Yes.
can't wait to finish it.
And if I could share one quick story about a client that I've been working with, that after our first session, we weren't doing this specifically, we didn't do this exercise, but she was thinking about ways she could make money. And she's like, I could babysit, I could get a second job. And she was going, oh, I don't want to do any of that. And then this light bulb went on and she said, I could ask for a raise at work, but I don't really want to do that. But she did it. And they gave her an immediate $500 bonus, and they gave her a raise of $1,000 a month. $12,500 in the girl's pocket this year, just like that. Boom. So that's something too, asking for a raise. If you are an employee, you know, just start to think, yeah, where can this money come from? It does not have to be hard. As a matter of fact, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
And we want to erase that. And there are lots of other tools that we have. We're going to kind of focus here, you know, we'll kind of leave it at this, but there are lots of other tools that we have to actually start really clearing the underlying beliefs also in a different way.
Great. Yeah, I love that. So if any of you ladies have a question for Shannon or me or something, because we're going to get ready to wrap up. We said 45 minutes. So thank you for sticking with us through this. But if you have any last minute questions, or you can always get a hold of us. We're on Instagram. I'm sure you ladies have Shannon's information. So if you have any like really personal questions, then yeah.
Will there be more of these in
I'm
the
ready
future?
for it.
Yes. We are going to be doing more. This is our second collaboration. And as we're doing this, like, and I love, you know, that you guys are interacting, because I'm getting excited as we're doing this exercise. I'm thinking of other things, other tools that I would love to share. So we will definitely be doing more of these. And, you know, if there is something that you are kind of looking for, you know, feel free to get in touch, because I love to work, obviously, on what you guys want to be working on.
Yeah, so definitely look out for more. I would love to keep working with you. I think all of this information, even though none of the ladies that I work with personally are here, but hopefully they watch the replay, because this is all amazing, just super useful information. So yes, we're definitely going to do more. It's part of this Wealthy Woman series that we're collaborating on. So yeah, I would love to see you ladies at the next ones that we have, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Very
Thanks
empowering.
for joining. Thanks for joining. Thanks for staying. Thanks for participating. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah, thank you. And have fun with that list. Okay, finish it.
Yes.
That's your homework.
Yes. Finish the list and let me know what you guys have. Oh, it's nice to see you.
Yes, lovely meeting all of you too. Thank you, Rosa. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You guys have a great night, and we'll be in touch soon. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good
You're
night,
welcome.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.